Hi, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, The World of Darkness by White Wolf Games. Little backstory here. White Wolf Games got their start in the World of Darkness with the first edition of Vampire the Masquerade, which was really unique at the time because it was a horror game that let you be the monster. Vampire the Masquerade begot several different editions. Then other games sprung out from the same basic idea and using the same general engine, but there were some differences that made cross-pollination and cross-play difficult. You had Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Wraith the Oblivion, and Changeling the Dreaming. A few others came along here and there that got sprinkled in, but by and large, those were the core five. The thing they had in common was they used the same basic engine, a D10-based dice pool system of variable difficulties, and you rolled a different number of die, and you look for your target numbers and how many successes, and most of us are at least vaguely familiar with it. In the early 2000s, they literally dropped the bomb, so to speak, on the World of Darkness line, their original World of Darkness line. Each one of the game lines had their own end of the world built into it. That was sort of one of the themes that you were working toward. They ended the lines, and then they relaunched with this newer World of Darkness. What's different here is this one book is the core rules for every new World of Darkness game that they have. So you need this if you're going to play Vampire the Requiem, or Werewolf the Forsaken, or Mage the Awakening. Those are the three core ones. They've had a few more come out since then. Now, the thing about this game is it still uses the same basic concept, a dice pool, a 10-sided die. Now, the difficulty is static. It's an 8. You have to get an 8, a 9, or a 10 to get a success. 10s can count for multiple successes depending on the style of game that you want. It is a very cleaned up system, in my opinion. It takes a lot of what was wrong with the original World of Darkness, which was a lot of dice rolling, a lot of too much dice rolling, in my opinion, really smooths it out. You have to like dice pool games, though, to really enjoy this particular version of the setting. One of the advantages this brings to the table, though, is this allows you to play Vampire, Werewolf, and Mage simultaneously. And it's not way incredibly stupid overpowered that one has more oomph or gutso than the other ones do. It really allows, now you have to deal with obviously common themes in there, but it really allows you to do that very effectively. The other thing that this World of Darkness line has allowed you to do that the original did not was they're putting out a series of books not specifically geared toward any one monster or any one classification. For example, you've got books like Mysterious Places. What this allows you to do is, it's for any World of Darkness line, or more interesting, a Mortals, pure Mortals game in the World of Darkness. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, yes, and then you can use those adventures to segue into playing a vampire. Well, you could if you really wanted to, or I think it's more neat if you play Mortals in it, if you want the truth. That's something the original World of Darkness line kind of fell down on, was playing normal people. So you've got a book specifically on Mysterious Places. This is probably one of the best ones I've read, because what it gives you are settings or ideas for entire games from one specific idea. Like a pool in a reservoir that if you go to, you bleed into it and you make a wish, your wish will come true. Maybe not the way you want. Think about the monkey's paw here, people. Other options include antagonists, which are a bunch of monsters or critters to deal with. Not just critters, but overall concepts like how to deal with cults in a game. Ghost stories, specifically dealing with ghosts and other spiritual type entities that were people who were alive but are now dead. Other books in this Mortals line, as I like to call it, the Book of Spirits, the Reliquary, which is all about magic items, Second Sight, which is a non-Atlantean arcana, psychic, divine powers, deals with the devil, supernatural powers sort of thingy. Then you also have things like Tales from the 13th Precinct, which deals with how to deal with police investigations in your game. Asylum, how to deal with insanity. All of these could easily be used for any one of the main lines, but I think the main strength of this current World of Darkness incarnation is the very fact that it allows you to play Mortals. It gives you an alternative to your sort of more mortal horror games. Call of Cthulhu, for example. So, World of Darkness, one core book to rule them all. The other games derive from it. You have to have this to play. Werewolf, Mage, Vampire, other monster lines or critter lines that you can play along these game system include Promethean, which is sort of Frankensteinian type critters. Changeling, they've relaunched Changeling, and they're basically coming out with a new one of these every year, but they are limited run games, so that there are maybe 5, maybe 6 books in the line, and that's it. The main 3 lines that they have and will continue to support are Vampire, Werewolf, and Mage. I like World of Darkness. It's a nice, slightly different alternative to a horror role-playing game that gives you more options than, say, a Call of Cthulhu game would. As much as I love Call of Cthulhu, and it pains me to say that, the options really aren't that there for you. So, for Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.